know WD-40 can help you prevent a $4,000 car repair, and most mechanics don't share it with you. But don't worry, because today I'll break down WD-40 hacks and reveal the WD-40 tips and tricks that mechanics hate I'm sharing. Starting with treating spark plugs. Ever tried removing spark plugs only to hear that terrifying grinding sound? That's metal fusing to metal, and it's about to cost you big. Here's the twist. WD-40 can break them free in seconds. Most people reach for brute force, which only makes things worse. The smarter move: using WD-40 to spray directly into the threads. Let it sit 10 minutes as it works its way down, breaking the corrosion's grip from the inside out. In testing, bolts that required 500 foot-pounds of torque to break loose needed just 2.38 after WD-40 treatment, meaning you save both your engine threads and your wallet. Here's a bonus tip mechanics won't tell you. Slightly warm engines respond even better to penetrating sprays. So try this right after a short drive for the best results. And speaking of engine sounds you don't want to hear, this next WD-40 hack would definitely surprise you. At number 14, we have diagnosing squeaky belts. That high-pitched squeal under your hood doesn't always mean you need a new belt. Here's the problem: the moisture getting between the belt and pulleys, causing slippage and that ear-piercing noise. That makes everyone stare. Here's the solution. A light mist of WD-40 on the underside of the belt provides temporary relief by displacing water and reducing initial friction. This $6 fix buys you time to schedule a proper inspection instead of panicking into a $150 belt replacement you might not need yet. Just remember, this is a temporary solution. Never soak the belt, as WD-40 can deteriorate rubber over time. ASE-certified mechanics like Eric the Car Guy have recommended this emergency fix for decades. Now let's move to another silent killer under your hood. Trust me, this next one would 100% shock you. Protect battery terminals from corrosion. Imagine a dead battery on a cold morning. That white, crusty buildup is silently killing your electrical system. Ever notice that powdery substance around your battery terminals? That's not just corrosion, it's literally creating electrical resistance that's draining your battery even when the car's off. Look at this. Corrosion creates a barrier between your battery and the rest of your electrical system, forcing everything to work harder until it simply fails to start. But don't you worry, because WD-40 can save you. A light coat of WD-40 creates a moisture-resistant barrier that prevents oxygen and electrolytes from reacting with the metal. This $6 solution prevents that $200 tow and embarrassing jump start in your office parking lot. Here's what the battery manufacturers don't tell you. This trick works even better if you disconnect the terminals first, negative, then positive, and spray all metal surfaces before reconnecting, positive then negative. Trust me, it's better to do that trick. But battery troubles are just the beginning of your winter car problems. You'll be surprised with the next one: free frozen locks. But what do I mean by that? Well, WD-40 is basically winter survival gear disguised as a simple spray can. Here's a scenario. There's nothing worse than that moment when your key won't turn in an ice-jammed lock, especially when you're already late and the temperature is plummeting. But what's actually happening? Moisture gets trapped in the lock mechanism, freezes solid, and blocks the pins from moving properly. The WD in WD-40 literally stands for water displacement. This was its original purpose. Here's the neat part. A small amount of WD-40 sprayed into the keyhole displaces the moisture and melts ice almost instantly, allowing your key to turn freely again. The thin, lubricating film left behind helps prevent the problem from returning immediately. Did you know that drivers pay over $100 for emergency lockouts that could be prevented with this simple trick? This is why you need to keep a small can in your bag or desk during winter months. You'll be someone's hero eventually. Now let's solve a visibility problem that affects every driver: restoring car headlights. Those yellow, hazy headlights aren't just ugly. They're reducing your visibility by up to 80% at night. Here's what's actually going on. UV rays break down the protective coating on your headlight lenses, leaving them cloudy and dangerously dim. While permanent restoration requires proper polishing, WD-40 offers an emergency solution. Here's the WD-40 hack. A light spray on a microfiber cloth, then wiped across your headlight lenses. And guess what? This temporarily restores clarity by filling in microscopic cracks and creating a smooth surface that reflects light properly again. This $6 solution buys you safe visibility for a few days until you can get a proper restoration. But here's a hack you definitely don't know. Silent squeaky hinges and latches. Every car develops those embarrassing creaks and groans as door hinges and trunk mechanisms collect dirt and lose lubrication. But don't you worry, because a quick spray of WD-40 directly into the hinge mechanism displaces any moisture, cleans out accumulated grit, and leaves a protective barrier that silences the squeak instantly. For exposed hinges like trunks and hoods, you'll want to wipe off the excess to avoid attracting more dirt. Here's what most people miss. For the longest-lasting silence, spray the WD-40. Work the hinge through its full range of motion several times, then wipe clean and follow with a white lithium grease for permanent protection. Now for a WD-40 trick that keeps mud from becoming a rust factory. If you made it here, like the video, it would really help us a lot. Anyways, WD-40 hack number 1 would save you $800 in car repairs. Keep mud off your undercarriage. Ever noticed how quickly mud builds up under your wheel, wells, and along your undercarriage? That's not just dirt. It's a moisture-trapping rust accelerator that's eating away at your vehicle. Here's the twist. The problem is that mud mixed with road salt creates a paste that holds moisture against metal surfaces, dramatically accelerating corrosion in places you rarely see until it's too late. Well, here's the hack. Spray a light coat of WD-40 on clean, dry wheel wells and exposed undercarriage components. The hydrophobic barrier helps mud slide off instead of sticking, similar to how rain beads on a wax surface. Off-road enthusiasts and rural drivers have been using this trick for years, especially on truck frames and SUV components. But mud isn't the only situation WD-40 solves. This next one is very helpful. Clean off bugs, tar, or tree sap. Did you know that WD-40 melts away the sticky nightmares that regular car soap can't touch? Here's the problem. That rock-hard tree sap or baked-on bug splatter isn't just unsightly, it's actually etching into your clear coat as we speak, causing permanent damage. But here's the twist. Spray WD-40 directly on the affected area. Let it penetrate for 30-60 seconds, then wipe gently with a microfiber cloth. To put it simply, the solvents break down the molecular bonds without abrasion, lifting away substances that would otherwise require dangerous scraping or harsh chemicals. You should know that professional detailers charge $50+ for spot treatment of these contaminants, but this DIY approach costs just cents per application. You just have to remember to wash the area with soap and water afterward to remove any residual WD-40 before it attracts dust. This next hack is something you never heard of. Next up is remove old stickers or decals. We've all been there, trying to remove that old parking permit, inspection sticker, or the dealership badge that's been advertising for them on your car for years. But here's a neat trick you don't know. Spray WD-40 liberally on the sticker and surrounding edges, then let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes as it seeps under the adhesive. The penetrating oil breaks down the sticky compounds, allowing you to lift the sticker with a plastic card or your fingernail without damaging surfaces. Here's a pro tip. This works on everything from bumper stickers to window tint adhesive. Residue, saving you from the 100+ that detail shops charge for the same service. One detailer confessed, "This is literally what we use, then charge you for an hour of labor." Now let's tackle the hidden rust risk most drivers never check. Let's proceed with stop rust in door sills. Did you know that your door's biggest rust risk hides where you step in, and most people never check it until it's too late? You need to remember, those door sills you step across every day are secretly collecting water, salt, and debris that's eating through your car's structure from the inside out. Here's the actual problem. The danger zone is where the inner and outer panels meet, creating seams and channels where moisture gets trapped without ever fully drying, especially in vehicles without proper drain holes or those with damaged seals. But here's the solution you never knew you could do: a light spray of WD-40 along these seams and drip rails creates a moisture barrier that prevents oxidation from starting. Pay special attention to the lower corners of doors where water naturally collects. This 5-minute task can literally save your door from rusting through. Good for you, because this tip just saves you hundreds in car repairs. Door rust repair starts at $500 and can exceed $2,000 if structural components are compromised. But there's another hidden area that fails at the worst possible moment. This next one is something that will definitely surprise you. Hood stuck removal. There's nothing worse than pulling the hood release during an emergency, only to find it's completely seized shut, blocking access to your battery, fluids, or engine. Here's what's actually going on. The mechanism is particularly vulnerable to corrosion because it collects road grime, salt, and moisture while remaining largely ignored until it's too late. Typically, when you're stranded and need immediate access, don't you worry, because just spray WD-40 directly into the hood latch mechanism, both the release on the inside and the actual latch under the hood, and work it through its full range of motion several times. The lubricant breaks down existing corrosion and leaves a protective film that keeps things moving freely. Roadside assistance calls for hood release failures average $85 to $150, assuming you can even get help quickly. This WD-40 tip takes less than a minute and should be part of your seasonal car checkup. While you're at it, don't forget the tools you keep for emergencies. If the latch is already jammed, try gently pressing down on the hood while someone pulls the interior release. Sometimes a bit of pressure is all it needs to release the tension. Once open, clean the area with a rag and apply a generous coat of WD-40 or white lithium grease for longer lasting protection. You'll be shocked how often this saves people from a $150 roadside call, or worse, a tow truck visit. Make it a habit. Include hood latch lubrication in your seasonal maintenance checklist, just like you would check your tire pressure or coolant levels. It's one of those set it and forget it habits that can save your day when you least expect it. And while you're at it, inspect your emergency toolkit. Keeping your hood release in good shape isn't just about convenience, it's about safety. If you ever need to access the engine bay quickly, whether it's for a fire, overheating, or electrical failure, every second counts. This 1-minute WD-40 trick could literally be the difference between a quick fix and a dangerous delay. The next hack would surprise you. Protecting tools in the trunk. Those tools sitting in your trunk or under your seat. They're slowly rusting away, guaranteeing they'll fail when you finally need them. The problem is that your trunk experiences extreme temperature fluctuations and humidity changes, creating perfect conditions for condensation that settles on metal surfaces and initiates corrosion. This is why you need to give them a light coating of WD-40, paying special attention to hinges, joints, and bare metal surfaces. This creates a moisture barrier that prevents rust from forming during long storage periods. Even brand new tools can rust in your trunk within months. Temperature swings and humidity cause condensation, which eats away at metal fast, especially on jacks, lug wrenches, and jumper cables. Spray a light coat of WD-40, $6–10 a can, on all metal surfaces, focusing on hinges, joints, and exposed parts. Wipe off any excess to avoid grease buildup. This creates a moisture barrier that prevents rust during long storage. For extra protection, store your tools in a sealed box or zip bag with silica gel packs. Replacing rusted tools can cost $50 to $100 or more. This 2-minute tip keeps your emergency gear ready when it matters most. Now here's something you won't expect WD-40 can do. Clean oil and grease from hands. Ever finished an emergency repar only to discover your hands are covered in stubborn grease that soap won't touch? That black grime isn't coming off without a fight. Here's what's going on. The problem is that automotive grease and oil have different molecular structures than everyday dirt, allowing them to embed deeply in skin while resisting water-based cleaning. Here's the solution. Spray WD-40 directly into your palms. Rub together to dissolve the grease. Then wash normally with soap and water. Professional mechanics use this trick daily, though they'll rarely admit it to customers. While specialized hand cleaners exist, nothing beats the convenience of using what you already have on hand during unexpected repairs. WD-40 isn't just for metal parts. It's surprisingly effective at breaking down the molecular bonds in automotive fluids that standard soap can't touch. The same water-displacing properties that make it perfect for car maintenance also make it ideal for removing what car maintenance leaves behind on your skin. The technique works because WD-40 acts as a solvent bridge between oil-based contaminants and water-based cleaners. After dissolving the grease, a simple soap wash removes both the WD-40 and the loosened grime completely. This prevents the skin irritation that comes from aggressive scrubbing with soaps, and it's gentler than the harsh chemical hand cleaners that cost 3 times as much while doing essentially the same job. Now for a quick appearance upgrade anyone can do. This one is very helpful for detailing. Shine tires for a quick detail. Did you know that WD-40 doubles as a last-minute tire shine when you need your car looking good fast? Dull grey tire sidewalls can make even a freshly washed car look neglected, but commercial tire dressings are expensive and often unavailable when you need them most. Here's the issue you probably don't know. Tire rubber naturally oxidizes and collects brake dust, road grime, and environmental contaminants that dull its appearance and make black tires look faded and old. The solution? Well, spray a light coat of WD-40 on tires and wipe across clean, dry tire sidewalls for an instant glossy black finish. The oil-based formula temporarily restores the appearance of depth and richness to the rubber. To be real with you guys, this is strictly a short-term, appearance-only solution for special occasions, maybe before a date or when selling your car, not a permanent treatment. Over-application or regular use can actually damage tire compounds over time, so you need to keep that in mind. Your tires reveal more about your car's condition than you realize. Dull, oxidized sidewalls instantly make any vehicle look neglected, even with a fresh wash. Most people don't understand that tire rubber naturally attracts brake dust and environmental contaminants that create that faded, grayish appearance that screams, "I don't maintain my car." The WD-40 tire trick works because its penetrating oil temporarily fills the microscopic pores in oxidized rubber, restoring that deep black richness for several days. Apply it with a cloth in thin, even coats across clean sidewalls, and you'll get results that rival $15 tire shine products. This emergency detail hack is perfect for job interviews or impressing potential buyers when selling your vehicle. Situations where appearance matters more than long-term tire health. Now for a repair trick that saved countless bumpers. And the number 1 WD-40 hack that'll save you hundreds in car repairs. Number 1, remove scratches and bumps. This hack can erase the evidence before anyone notices. Do you ever see those mysterious streaks of foreign paint on your bumper after a minor parking lot encounter? Aren't just unsightly. They're evidence of your driving missteps for all to see. What actually happens in these minor scrapes is a literal transfer of paint from the other object onto your clear coat. The paint sits on top, rather than removing your original finish in most cases. Anyways, just spray WD-40 on the affected area. Let it sit for 1 to 2 minutes to soften the transferred paint, then buff gently with a microfiber cloth using circular motions. Here's what happens. The solvent properties break down the foreign paint without harming your factory finish. Meanwhile, body shops charge $75 to $150 minimum for this same treatment that costs you practically nothing. Just be certain you're dealing with transferred paint and not a scratch through your own paint. WD-40 won't fix actual scratches in your clear coat or paint. If the mark catches your fingernail, it's a good sign that the damage is deeper, likely a true scratch that has gone through the clear coat or into the paint layer itself. In that case, WD-40 won't be enough. You'll need to use polishing, compound, or even touch-up paint depending on how deep it goes. But if your nail glides smoothly over the area, it's probably just surface paint transfer, and WD-40 can take care of it in under 5 minutes. Always test a small, inconspicuous spot first, especially on older vehicles or custom paint jobs, to ensure there's no adverse reaction. Some older clear coats can be more sensitive, and you don't want to dull the finish by accident. Once the transferred paint is removed, you'll often notice the spot looks a little duller than the surrounding area. That's normal. To bring back the shine and seal the surface, use a spray wax or quick detailer. This not only restores the gloss, but creates a slick, protective barrier that helps repel future scuffs and marks. For convenience, keep a travel-sized WD-40 and a clean microfiber cloth tucked away in your glove box or trunk. Whether it's a scuff, in a parking lot, or paint from a shopping cart, This quick fix can save you money and keep your car looking sharp without a trip to the body shop. Talking about car hacks, there are more car tips and hacks that you don't know could save you more money on repairs. If you want to save more money, kindly click this video. Trust me, you won't regret it.